So let's talk about a politician who tried to run an entire state like a Silicon Valley startup. This is a guy who literally preferred PowerPoint presentations over populist poetry and data dashboards over big public rallies. This is the incredible story of N. Chandrababu Naidu, the Technocrat King of modern India. You know, this quote, it just gets right to the heart of it all. Forget the fiery speeches and the grand promises for a second. Instead, picture a leader who looks at a state, at its millions of people, and sees a system, something to be optimized, an algorithm just waiting to be written. That, right there, is Chandrababu Naidu. And really, this is the central question of his entire career. It's this massive, decades-long experiment in governance. Can you really take the logic of Silicon Valley, disruption, scalability, data-driven everything, and apply it to the messy, complicated, beautiful reality of a diverse Indian state? Well, let's find out. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at his rise as this kind of political CEO. Then, we'll dive into the creation of the tech hub, Cyberabad. We'll also look at the critical blind spot that led to his downfall, his absolutely spectacular comeback, and finally, his almost science fiction-level vision for the future. All right, first up, the CEO of a state. You have to understand, when Naidu first came to power back in 1995, he completely changed the language of what it meant to be a leader in India. And this slide just captures that shift perfectly. While all his peers were out there mastering populist poetry on the campaign trail, Naidu was in his office mastering PowerPoint. Seriously. He spoke in terms of KPIs, real-time data, e-governance dashboards. He wasn't just another chief minister. He literally called himself the CEO of Andhra Pradesh. And you know what? That whole CEO approach, it led directly to his first and maybe his most famous success story, building a global tech hub, basically from scratch. So this timeline really shows how it all came together. Back in the 90s, while most politicians were thinking about subsidies, Naidu was thinking about server farms. Now, that moment in 1998, that was the game changer. He personally convinced Microsoft to set up its first development center outside the US, right there in Hyderabad. That sent shockwaves through the tech world. And then, a year later, there he is, presenting his state's IT plan to the President of the United States on a laptop. That had never happened before. It signaled a totally new era. And the results were undeniable. His vision for Cyberabad wasn't just talk. It became high-tech city. And soon, giants like IBM, Oracle, and Google followed. He launched something called eSeva to digitize government services way before it was cool. And the economic impact? By 2004, the state's economy was just humming along, with over 9% annual growth. But every great story has a turning point. And for Naidu, his greatest strength, that laser focus on technology, well, it became his greatest weakness. This was his Icarus moment, flying too close to the sun. So what went wrong? Well, while the tech corridors of Hyderabad were glowing, vast stretches of rural Andhra felt completely left behind. All the talk of a futuristic capital city, Amaravati, seemed like a distant dream to farmers who were struggling with drought and debt. The technocratic had simply outpaced the democratic drumbeat on the ground. And the political price he paid was devastating. Just look at this number. In the 2019 election, his party was crushed, reduced to just 23 seats out of 175. It wasn't just a loss, it was a near-total political extinction, a brutal rejection of his top-down, tech-first approach. But if there's one thing we know, it's that politics loves a comeback story. And Naidu's? Oh, it is one for the ages. Let's look at his stunning redemption arc in 2024. I mean, this chart, it just says everything, doesn't it? From a humiliating 23 seats to a massive, thumping victory with 164 seats just 5 years later. It's one of the most dramatic political turnarounds in recent history, and it didn't just make him chief minister again, it made him a national kingmaker. So the big question is, how did he do it? Well, he learned. He evolved. It's like he didn't just change his slogan, he updated his entire operating system. This new message, technology with tenderness, meant using data not just to track GDP, but to solve a single farmer's water crisis. Innovation wasn't just about attracting global tech giants anymore. It was about empowering local entrepreneurs and skilling up young people in villages. He basically reconnected with the grassroots by showing them how technology could serve them directly. So now he's back in power, and he isn't just picking up where he left off. Oh no, he's aiming for something far, far bigger. Welcome to his vision for Andhra's golden future.
He's unveiled this blueprint called Swarna Andhra, which means Golden Andhra, and it's timed for India's 100th year of independence in 2047. And the goal, well, it's not just ambitious, it's audacious, to transform the state into one of the most dynamic and prosperous regions on the entire planet.
And when you look at the raw numbers here, the targets are just staggering. A state economy of $2.4 trillion, a per capita income of over $42,000, 20 million new jobs. We're not talking about incremental growth here. This is a quantum leap. And it's all built on these 10 pillars, what he calls the Padi Sutralu. Now notice the blend here. It's fascinating. You've got the hardcore tech stuff like deep tech integration, but it's sitting right alongside zero poverty and human development. This is the new, more balanced Naidu, right here in action. So this brings us to our final section where we try to get to the very core of who this man is as a leader, the man who governs as if he is the machine. I just love this quote because it's so true. From being the first chief minister to carry a laptop in the 90s to using real-time dashboards to run his government today, his entire philosophy is baked into his personal style. He doesn't just use technology, he actually thinks like it. And at the end of the day, these contradictions are what make him so fascinating. He's a visionary who's proven to be incredibly politically vulnerable, a globalist who had to rediscover the grassroots, an engineer at heart, but with the top-down authority of an emperor. He's just a walking, talking bundle of paradoxes. Ultimately, his story is so much more than just one man's career. His incredible journey, from the triumph of Cyberabad to the humiliation of 2019, and now to his coronation in 2024, it's a perfect metaphor for modern India's own struggle to balance its deep, ancient traditions with a high-tech future. So what this all boils down to is this. He has pioneered a totally new model of leadership, one we can call the Technocrat King. It's a leader who has the singular, top-down vision of a monarch, but executes that vision with the cold, hard logic of a systems engineer. And that leaves us with one final and honestly pretty vital question for our times. As the world gets more and more complex, is this the model of leadership we need? One that's efficient, data-driven, visionary, but maybe a little less democratic? Or is it a fundamental challenge to the very idea of governance by the people? That's definitely something to think about.